The airport was crowded, chaotic, and full of people rushing past each other, but somehow, she stood out, not because of her wealth, but because of the way everyone seemed to ignore her. A Chinese billionaire, known for her success and influence, had unexpectedly found herself stranded in a foreign city, struggling with a problem no amount of money could fix. Bags piled high, phone dying, and frustration mounting, she looked around desperately, hoping someone would notice and offer help. But no one did. Not the staff, not the passengers, not even the people she thought would recognize her. She tried asking in broken English, gestures, anything to get someone's attention, but it was as if she had become invisible. Just when her hope was about to fade completely, a quiet figure appeared in the corner of her eye, a janitor, pushing a cleaning cart and humming a soft tune. Without hesitation, he walked up to her and greeted her, in perfect Chinese. The billionaire froze, stunned. No one had ever spoken to her with that kind of warmth and understanding in a place where she had felt completely alone. Everyone nearby paused, noticing the exchange, and the atmosphere seemed to shift instantly. Questions filled the air. Why would a janitor be the only one to notice her? What would happen next? At that moment, it became clear that something extraordinary was about to unfold, something that would shock everyone present. Little did she know, this chance encounter would change everything, and the story was only just beginning. The janitor smiled gently, pushing his cart a little closer as if instinctively sensing her frustration. She couldn't help but notice the calm in his eyes, a stark contrast to the cold indifference around her. She introduced herself, explaining her situation, and he listened patiently, nodding as if he already understood every word, every problem. There was something about him, something that made her feel safe, even in the middle of this overwhelming airport. Her mind began to wander back to how she had arrived here. Just hours ago, she had stepped off a private jet, confident and in control, yet within minutes, a series of unexpected events left her stranded. A miscommunication with her driver, a delayed connecting flight, and language barriers combined to isolate her completely. For someone used to attention and respect, this sudden invisibility was jarring. Every assistant she had tried calling was unreachable, and the crowd moved past her without a second glance. Meanwhile, the janitor began guiding her gently, pointing out signs, helping with translations, and even suggesting a quiet corner to sit. The billionaire couldn't understand why no one else had noticed her distress, why the people she assumed were helpful seemed oblivious. As they moved together, whispers and curious glances followed, people starting to murmur about who she was and why a janitor was speaking to her in Chinese. Questions swirled in her mind. Why did he seem to know exactly what to do? Was this chance encounter really just luck, or was there something more behind his actions? The answers were not clear, and the suspense in the airport grew thicker with each passing moment. As they walked through the bustling terminal, the billionaire couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that this wasn't just a random act of kindness. The janitor moved with quiet confidence, navigating crowds and security checkpoints as though he had done this many times before. She began to notice small details, how he seemed to know which staff members would actually listen, which lines to avoid, and even which stores might offer help without asking questions. It was uncanny, and part of her wondered if he had some hidden connection she didn't know about. Meanwhile, other travelers started whispering, casting curious glances in her direction. Some recognized her from social media or business news, and murmurs of the billionaire spread quickly. Yet, no one stepped forward to assist, leaving her completely reliant on the janitor. That dependence made her uneasy. She had built her life on independence and control, yet here she was, letting someone else take the lead in a crisis she couldn't solve herself. In the background, airport security had started to notice the pair. A few officers exchanged glances, suspicious of why a janitor was guiding such a high-profile guest. Were they following protocol, or was something unusual unfolding that they couldn't quite explain? The tension thickened with every step. As they reached a quieter lounge area, the billionaire began piecing together the puzzle in her mind. Who was this janitor, really? How did he know exactly what she needed? And why did it feel like the entire airport had become a stage for something far bigger than her immediate problem? Questions swirled, and the suspense kept building, leaving her and everyone watching on the edge, waiting for the next move in a story that was far from over. The lounge was quieter now, but the tension in the air was almost tangible. The billionaire sat nervously, glancing at the janitor, who seemed completely unshaken, almost as if he knew exactly what would happen next. Every announcement over the PA system, every rolling suitcase, every passing glance felt amplified. She could feel the weight of the curious eyes around her, the invisible pressure of being both exposed and helpless in a place she had always thought of as ordinary. Her phone buzzed again, but it was just another failed attempt to reach her assistant. Panic began creeping in. How could someone so successful, so powerful, be left stranded like this? The janitor noticed her tension, offering a quiet reassurance in Chinese, and for the first time in hours, she felt a sliver of hope. Yet, that hope was fragile, hanging by a thread. From across the lounge, she noticed a small group of airport staff whispering among themselves, glancing her way with a mix of curiosity and suspicion. Security was watching, too, and she felt the invisible walls closing in. The janitor led her to a corner where a single unattended service desk sat, flickering under harsh fluorescent lights. He whispered something to her that she didn't fully understand at first, and then it hit her: the next step was risky, uncertain, and could change everything. Her heart raced, questions swirling. Why was he taking her here? Could she trust him completely? And what exactly awaited beyond this desk? Every instinct told her to hesitate, yet a deeper part of her knew she had no choice. The suspense hung thick in the air, building toward a moment that would shock everyone present, a moment where the stakes had never been higher and the outcome was anyone's guess. Just as she was about to follow the janitor toward the flickering service desk, a loud commotion erupted nearby. A group of airport officials approached quickly, their expressions a mix of confusion and alarm. They had apparently been tracking her movements ever since she arrived, but now, for reasons she couldn't yet understand, they seemed unusually tense. The billionaire froze, glancing at the janitor, whose calm demeanor never wavered, though she noticed a flicker of something almost imperceptible in his eyes, an unspoken warning. Before she could react, one of the officials stepped forward, demanding to know who he was and why he was guiding her. His simple reply in Chinese caught everyone off guard, and suddenly, the whispers in the lounge turned into audible murmurs of shock. People were staring, some even recording with their phones, and the tension escalated instantly. The janitor's knowledge, his confidence, and the respect he commanded from the staff made the billionaire wonder: was this truly just a janitor, or was there something far more mysterious at play? Then, a second twist hit. As the officials hesitated, a message appeared on her phone, a warning from someone she had trusted, telling her not to follow anyone blindly, hinting that the janitor might not be entirely who he seemed. Her mind raced, torn between the safety he had offered and the cryptic warning she couldn't ignore. The crowd sensed the drama, the suspense growing thicker by the second. Every glance, every word, every gesture felt loaded with hidden meaning, and the billionaire realized that the next few moments could completely change the course of everything: her security, her trust, and the shocking truth behind the janitor's intentions. The lounge seemed to hold its breath as the janitor turned to the billionaire with a quiet, confident smile. "Trust me," he said, and without waiting for an answer, he guided her through a small side door hidden behind a maintenance panel. The officials hesitated at the entrance, but something in his calm authority made them pause, unsure whether to intervene. She followed him, heart racing, every step filled with tension, not knowing whether she was walking into safety or danger. Inside, a small office lit by warm lights revealed a surprising sight: a team of airport staff she had never noticed before, all speaking fluent Chinese and ready to assist. The janitor explained in quiet tones that he had anticipated her arrival and had arranged for discreet help to ensure her safety and privacy. The billionaire felt a mix of relief and astonishment. No amount of money or influence could have orchestrated such an unexpected rescue so seamlessly. The main conflict, the isolation and helplessness she had felt, was resolved, and the truth of the janitor's knowledge finally became clear.